This story begins with Megan on the phone, frustrated as she tries to schedule an appointment for her mother, Judy, around her complicated agenda. Simultaneously, we see a scene where her mother, Judy, is at home with her caregiver. While climbing onto a chair, she has an accident. This drastically changes things. Now Megan is at a hospital with her brother Noah. A doctor informs them that Judy's condition is worse. She suffered a stroke and may never regain her speech. Megan's husband Diego joins them and focuses on the practicalities. Judy probably won't be coming home, and they need to think about money, insurance, and selling the house. Megan is annoyed by his lack of tact, reminding him the stroke just happened, highlighting the tension between them. Finally, Megan asks Diego to take their children, Caden and Everett, home, as the atmosphere is frightening them. Alone, Noah confesses a memory to Megan. When he had pneumonia with a 104-degree fever, their mother begged their father to take him to the ER. The doctor said if they had waited any longer, he would have died. Although their father bought him a book about tanks, Noah treasures how their mother lay down with him, told him she loved him, and assured him everything would be okay, making him feel safe. Megan, ever practical, insists they have to leave and face the decisions ahead. As they leave, Noah admits he plans to fly back on Tuesday. He bought a one-way ticket and feels there's nothing more he can do. As they drive to their mother's house, Noah notes that nothing has changed. They see a disheveled man. Megan explains it's Doug Metzger, an acquaintance whose mother, Patty, mysteriously disappeared years ago. They find the house in a complete mess. Noah, exhausted, announces he's going to sleep to answer emails and watch Netflix. Megan decides to investigate and heads down to the basement, where she hasn't been in a decade. They notice a strong smell of mold. The floor is covered in water, and the dehumidifier is broken. Noah is furious when he sees his possessions ruined by the dampness. Books, original comics, and above all, his Pokemon cards, which he claims were worth thousands. While Noah yells in frustration, Megan discovers the source, a damaged panel on the wall and a nauseating odor. Upon removing the panel, they recoil in horror. They find a dead body. Megan recognizes the clothes. They belong to Patty Metzger, the neighbor who disappeared in 1996 or 1997. Memories flood Megan's mind. The neighborhood was searching for Patty while their parents abruptly sent them to their grandmother Chrisman's house for a week. When they returned, that basement panel was newly installed. They begin to understand their parents' strange behavior. Their father became obsessed with work, their mother aged prematurely, and after their father's death, she became a recluse, terrified someone would find the body. Noah, in shock, remembers playing and losing his virginity in that basement. He concludes that their parents are murderers. Megan tries to rationalize. Maybe it was an accident, or maybe Dick Metzger, the husband, killed her, and their parents covered it up. Noah dismisses this, recalling that Dick drank himself to death because everyone thought he was the culprit. Noah insists on calling the police, but Megan hesitates. She argues that it's been 30 years, their father is dead, and the only Metzger left, Doug, is a wreck. It's better not to open old wounds. Noah, determined, tries to call, but Megan grabs the phone from him. That's when Noah confesses his true motive. He's broke. His business failed. He has 5 maxed-out credit cards, and he's barely paying the interest. He admits he was counting on their mother's inheritance to survive. He reproaches Megan, saying she has a house and a family, while he has nothing. He warns her that if the police find out, the Metzger children will sue them, and they'll lose the house. Noah begs her to think of the scandal. Their father's name would be destroyed. Megan's kids would think their grandmother is a murderer, and the stress would kill Judy. Megan, overwhelmed, agrees to keep quiet for now and goes home. That night, Megan argues briefly with Diego about Caden's insulin and the stress from his job. Later, she tends to Caden, who seems to be having blood sugar issues. The next day, Megan returns to Noah and asks how they will get rid of the body. Noah, who has already planned it, says they'll do it that night at 3 a.m. He gives Megan an alibi for Diego and details the plan. They will wrap the body and use Megan's car, suggesting towels for the fluids. The destination, the old pond where they drank in high school, an isolated swamp that smells like sulfur. Noah warns her solemnly, once it's done, there's no turning back. The secret will haunt them, and they can never tell anyone. Megan, resolute, affirms they must do it together. Days later, Megan hears a chilling news report on the radio. Students found human remains in a plastic bag at the quarry. Megan confronts Noah in a panic, but he tries to calm her, insisting they can't be linked to it. At the hospital, they are approached by Lieutenant Sell. After an awkward interaction with Judy's caregiver, Brianna, Sell pulls the siblings aside. She informs them the body is Patty Metzger, identified by dental records. Sell mentions their parents were close to the Metzgers and reveals the cause of death. Someone bashed her head in. The siblings return to Judy and whisper to her not to worry about Patty, that they took care of everything, and that she shouldn't say anything. Upon returning to the house, they find the caregiver, Brianna, drinking one of Noah's beers. The caregiver, whose real name is Grace, scolds them for calling her Brianna for 5 months. She explains she has a special ability to understand stroke patients. Then she drops the bombshell. Judy confessed to her that she killed Patty Metzger. Grace adds that she knew something was leaking in the basement, and when she went down, she saw the mess they left. Noah asks what she wants. Grace demands $10,000, mocking Noah for being a failure and assuring them it will be a one-time payment. Noah notices Grace is wearing their mother's Rolex, but Grace insists it was a gift. When Noah calls her scum, Grace coldly replies that their mother is the murderer and they move the body, asking who the real scum is. Grace agrees to the $10,000. After discussing the location, she dismisses Noah's idea of an abandoned bridge and sets the meeting at the country diner the next day. Alone, Megan panics, trying to figure out how to get the money. She calculates she can pull funds from her checking accounts and her children's college funds. When she asks Noah how much he has, he shamefully admits he only has $600. Megan considers shutting down her online business, Always Samantha, where she sells clothes on Facebook. Noah, skeptical, asks Megan if she really believes Grace will settle for just one payment. He insists she will come back for more. Noah argues that paying her isn't enough. They have to scare her and make her know they are not to be messed with. So Noah suggests getting Bodie involved. Megan flatly refuses, reminding him that he's a criminal. She tries to downplay what they did, convinced they would only get probation and that no one would prosecute a dying old woman for a 30-year-old crime. But Noah preys on her deepest fears. He warns her that if they call the police, everyone in town will find out, including the parents at her kid's school. He tells her they'll have to move and asks if Diego will be able to find another job with the same medical benefits Caden needs. Noah pressures Megan, mentioning the stress it would put on her marriage and her son's health, until she finally gives in. Noah assures her that he will handle talking to Bodie. Noah drives to Bodie's farm. After asking about his Aunt Judy, Noah seizes the opportunity and lies to him, telling him that Grace is making up stories about their parents and, on top of that, has been stealing from Judy, specifically mentioning the Rolex. Noah argues that Grace doesn't need proof. Just by telling the police Judy confessed, she would start an investigation that, given Judy's fragile state, could kill her. He explains that they plan to pay her, but they want Bodie to be there as backup, to show that they are a united family. Bodie, remembering the old days when their families used to go to the lake together, agrees to help. The next day, when Megan and Noah are waiting in the diner's parking lot, Megan had to bring her kids, Caden and Everett, because Diego had a conference. When Bodie arrives, Megan thanks him for being there, stressing the importance of family. Just then, Grace shows up. Bodie takes the bag of money and insists on going in alone, arguing that they need to really scare her and that she already knows Megan and Noah are easy to manipulate. Inside, Bodie sits across from Grace, who mocks him. Grace, thinking she's in control, starts insulting the family. She complains that Judy is a bitch who makes her save receipts and that they treat her like she's invisible. Bodie, enraged by the lies and insults toward his aunt, warns her that if anything happens to Judy, he will personally come and slit her throat. To Grace's surprise, Bodie gets up and walks out of the diner, taking the money with him. Outside, Noah watches in horror as Grace storms out furiously and as Bodie returns to the car, still holding the bag of money. Noah, desperate, asks him why he didn't give her the key. Bodie hands the money back to Noah and explains that with people like that, you have to be firm and be willing to shed blood. As Bodie says goodbye, Megan starts having a panic attack. Simultaneously, at the police station, Lieutenant Sell receives the forensic results. Patty's body hadn't been in the water for 30 years. It was put there recently. That night, while Megan is trying to sell clothes on a live stream, she gets a message from Noah. Grace is at the house. Grace forced her way in, and a burly man is with her. Grace asks Noah where Megan is, and upon hearing she's 20 minutes away, she places an hourglass on the table. She tells Noah that, claiming there's a prowler, she will call the police as soon as the sand runs out. Megan abruptly leaves her stream, lying to Diego that there's a family emergency at the hospital. Time runs out and Grace calls. Just as Megan arrives at the house, a police officer pulls up behind her. The officer approaches and asks if they reported a suspicious person. Noah, reacting quickly, lies and says yes. The officer comes inside and Noah, visibly high, explains that he and his good friends, Grace and the burly man, heard a noise, but it was a false alarm. The officer, suspicious, decides to take a look around. When he heads for the basement, Megan stops him and invents a story about raccoons in the shed eating the wires. The officer accepts the explanation and leaves. As soon as the door closes, Grace, victorious, raises the stakes. She now wants $25,000. She sets the drop for noon the next day at the abandoned train bridge and warns them that if she sees Bodie, whom she calls the guy with the braces, she'll call. Before leaving, the burly man punches Noah in the stomach. In the car, the man named Sean is visibly upset. He confronts Grace, telling her he's just a hairstylist, not a goon, and that he has 2 replaced knees. Grace reminds him she's paying him well, money he can use for his daughter's college. Sean asks her why she doesn't just turn them in, and Grace confesses her real plan. She plans to turn them in, but only after they give her the cash. Megan scrambles to get the money, and after emptying several accounts, she manages to gather $22,000. She and Noah meet Grace and Sean at the desolate train bridge. Megan hands over the money, explaining it's all she could get, but she promises to get the rest later. Grace refuses the offer. She mocks Megan, and at that moment, Megan breaks. She tells Grace to call the police, that she doesn't care anymore. She confesses she's tired of hiding and lying, and that everything she did was to protect her family. But Grace accuses her of only lying to protect herself and scoffs at her privileged life. Angry, Megan lunges at Grace and they begin to struggle. When Sean intervenes, he falls to the ground. Grace, seeing him hurt, panics and screams that they have to get him to a hospital. Then something shocking happens. Grace takes off running, trying to flee to tell the police everything. At that moment, Noah shoots her, causing her to fall from the bridge into the water, completely dead. The scene changes abruptly. Back at the house, Megan, now in total control, gives Noah orders. She demands he wash his hands repeatedly with industrial soap to erase any trace of gunpowder and put his clothes and shoes in a bag so she can get rid of everything. Noah is in shock, mumbling that Grace is going to die. He suggests calling Mark, their father's lawyer friend, but Megan forbids it, insisting they have to cover their tracks. Before leaving, she demands Noah give her their father's gun. As she leaves, Megan is startled to find herself face-to-face with Doug Metzger. He greets her, and just before saying goodbye, he tells her she has something in her hair. The next morning, the police find the bodies. Lieutenant Sell confirms that one was shot at point-blank range and the other from a distance, identifying the woman as Grace. Sell calls Megan and Noah in again. Megan warns Noah to stay calm and act like he barely knew the caregiver. During the interrogation, Megan lies, saying Grace only worked for them for 5 months and that she barely interacted with her. They both deny knowing Grace's ex-husband, Sean. Sell informs them that Sean had no record, but Grace did. Noah, unable to hide his nervousness, starts rambling. Sell assures them they aren't suspects, but points out how strange it is that since their return, 3 dead bodies have turned up, all connected to their family. That night, the tension moves to Megan's house. Noah arrives late for dinner and to everyone's surprise brings Bodie. Bodie acts with unsettling cheerfulness, greeting Caden and Everett effusively. He quizzes Diego about his job before bringing up Grace's murder. When Megan tries to distance herself from the matter, Bodie pressures her, warning them that letting strangers into the house is dangerous because they might discover family secrets. He then jokingly tells the children that he knows a big secret about their mom and uncle. Before leaving, he insists that the family must stick together and invites them to his house on Sunday. After Bodie leaves, Diego confronts Megan, telling her that Bodie seems unstable and he doesn't want him around their kids. The next day, Megan and Noah meet. Noah is terrified, convinced Bodie knows everything and is dangerous. He reveals to Megan that Bodie was in jail for assault, not a DUI. They decide to go to Bodie's house. When they arrive, Bodie greets them and takes Noah to a room full of swords, challenging him to a duel. The playful fight turns serious when Bodhi disarms Noah and puts the sword to his neck, asking him if he came there to die. Bodhi yells, "Time out!" But at that moment, Megan enters, pointing the gun at them. Noah, panicking, yells at Megan to shoot him. Bodhi, stunned and hurt, screams that they are family and that he would never call the police. Megan shoots him. As Noah approaches the body, Bodhi, in a last effort, stabs Noah in the hand. Megan shoots again, killing him. Megan goes to the hospital and confronts her mother. She accuses her of killing Patty after discovering she was having an affair with their father, asking her what she hit her with. Judy, with great difficulty, only manages to say, "She fell." At that moment, Lieutenant Sell appears. She asks Megan about the wound on Noah's hand. Megan, unfazed, lies, saying he stabbed himself trying to get the pit out of an avocado. Sell informs her that they found the Rolex with her parents' initials in Grace's car. Megan asks for a moment alone with her mother, whispers that she loves her and that she is safe. When Sell returns, she warns her that these cases always get solved, even if it takes 30 years. Megan simply asks if she can get the watch back for its sentimental value. The movie ends in the basement. Megan finds Noah, his hand bandaged, playing video games with Doug Metzger. Megan is left with no choice. She has to kill Doug Metzger too. Alone with his sister, Noah breaks down. He confessed that he couldn't take it anymore and told Doug Metzger everything. He begs Megan to let him go back to California. Megan, with terrifying calmness, tells him no. She orders him to stay there and move into the house, as they can't sell it. She explains that their mother might come home and will need constant care. Noah will be her sole caregiver. He will feed her, bathe her, and give her medicine. When Judy dies, he will get a real job and take care of the house. He will become a present uncle to his nephews, and they will all be a family together.